Hey guys, welcome to the second part of the video. I'm Gigi, and I'm gonna in the first part of the video, I show you guys the special versions and regular version of Cuculur's Tarot designed by Masa Kuzuki. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the Tarot Maregician. Also, we have one regular version and two special versions. So I'm gonna also follow the order of the major cards, the trumps, and the pips cards. Well, what we have here is that Masa designed images for the pip cards. And we all know that, for example, in the Tarot, Masa Tarot, we don't have these images. We have like wands, we have the suit symbols. So this is really difficult, well for him, because that's really the understanding, the interpretation of these pip cards are really personal. You may see this pip card. We have some preset standard meaning, but I prefer to interpret them in different contexts with different questions and different combinations of cards. So Masa designed these images according to his own interpretation. I suggest you that if you are just to the traditional Tarot of Marseille, you can definitely use these cards. You can apply them, some of them, to the cards that he designed. But I don't suggest that for the beginners to use these cards as a guideline or as a introduction or as a pre-study of Tarot de Marseille, because I think that his design includes his own personal understanding of these cards. So, and besides, we have the box that opens like this, which is really, they're really luxurious. They're really, just something that you don't usually see in the tarot cards. And for the Cuculur's Tarot, we have the box that opens like this. I prefer the Tarot Maregician. And besides, I like the ancient system, so I really recommend this. And Tarot Maregician, it's a word that he created. It's a combination of mayor and magician. So that's really interesting. And the cardstock are the same with the Cuculur's Tarot, so I will not repeat it. So now let's get on to the major cards. So now we have the major cards from the Tarot Maregician. We have the regular version, we have special version Daydream, and we have special version Sleeplessness. So the first is also the information card. We'll take them out. And we have the Fools. So the Fools are like, in the traditional Marseille, if you are really dedicated to the traditional Marseille card, you will probably would not like this, because he added a number to this card. Well, we say that the Fool is a card without a number, but, well, if you are not that... if you don't mind it, it's totally okay. It would not affect your reading. And we can see that from the design of the face and this geometric figures, like the circle, the rectangular. It's really like poker style. It's really, it reminds us of the Tarot Marseille or the ancient system. And we have the Magician. Well, we say that the second card is the High Priestess. I like calling it the purpose. And in the Tarot Marseille, the purpose has a book, and he designs the like the cloth, the lines. These lines are like pages from a book. So I really like this design. It's really great. The Emperor. Well, the Pope card is something that I don't quite understand. We can see the shadow from the Tarot Marseille, but if you don't know anything about tarot and you don't know the title of this card, you would not have guessed that this card means Pope, because he doesn't design this tiara of the Pope of the tri-tiara. So, but according to Masa, in order to integrate the artistic design with the card meaning, he decided to take it off. And we can understand that he has 2 flowers for 2 students, and which flower will he give him to? And we can see that we have some little stars here, which is which represent the celestial knowledge. So yeah, we can definitely relate, but it's different. And we have the Lovers. I really like this one because we say that the lover is all about choices. So he has a flower. It's like a double choices. He has a flower. Which bird will he choose to give it to? And these birds have 2 hearts, and he's kind of like a man without a heart, like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. And he will choose to which heart that he wants. So it's kind of like double choices. And we have the Chariot, and he changes the horses to the chess. So it's really amazing that these changes that he made. And the Justice, the Hermit. And I especially like this one, the Swirl of Fortune. In addition to the Wheel of Fortune, traditional Wheel of Fortune, he designed a swirl. I really like this one because, well, in the traditional Marseille Tarot, the Wheel of Fortune also means you cannot escape the fate. You cannot, like, you're tied to it, and you cannot do anything. You're bound to this wheel, and you cannot do anything to set yourself free. So the same meaning goes into the card that he designed. In the swirl, when people are involved with the swirl, he or she will not get out of it. I mean, no matter what he or she does, he just cannot get out of it. So it's kind of like it presses the negative side of fate. Like sometimes in front of the fate, we cannot do anything. So, and we have 2 different figures. We have a gentleman with this hat, and we have like a clown, which represents the 2 different social state. But at the end of the life, no one can escape the fate. If you were a gentleman, well, probably you will fall for your ego. If you were a clown, probably you will rise for your, I don't know, your intelligence or your careless character. So that's a card that I especially like more than the Hermit. And we have the strength here. This strength here, he inspired in the Charles VI tarot. I will put a picture and for you guys to see. And we have like in this card where kind of like this, the strength is kind of like this girl either is the one who broke the column or the one who is supporting it. So we have this double meaning that's really delicate, that's really well elaborated, very well thought. We have the Hangman, and we have the Death, which looks like some New Orleans voodoo, Baba Laveau, I don't know. And this image reminds me of that, the voodoo god. And the Temperance. The Devil. And the Thunderbolt. Well, the Thunderbolt in the ancient system of Jacques Vieille, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's French. I don't speak French. Well, I will post. I will attach a picture to the video, and it actually in that tarot, this card is actually described as Thunderbolt. So I really like this. But in the traditional Masa tarot, we have the House of God or the House God, La Maison Deu. So it's different. Like we have two people falling. Here we have two people falling, but we say that sometimes in the Masa tarot, well, this is not a tarot lesson, but it's just my point of view. One time I asked one friend who didn't have any previous knowledge of tarot, that what he thought of this card, and he told me that it looked like the two people were not falling from the building, but like celebrating or dancing or collecting these coins from coins are gifts from above, and they're liberated, they're free, and they're celebrating. So the Masa is kind of like fixed in the traditional meaning of disaster, of this like negative side, but it's, in my opinion, it's more than that. So that's the Thunderbolt. And we have the Star. We have the Moon. We have the Sun. We have the Judgment. And we have the World. So these are the trumps of Tarot Maregician. And now I will show you the pips cards. So here we have the Suit of Wands. But in addition to the Wands, Masa changes the name to the Clubs, which corresponds with the cartomancy symbolism, or the poker symbol. Pip symbols. And in his, so now I think we do really need the instruction of this pamphlet that I translated, because some of the images are really abstract, and this pamphlet can give you some hints. And here it says that clubs equals wands, hearts equal cups, spades equal swords, and diamonds equal coins. Just for those of you who don't know. So let's get on to it. We say that just like what what I said. Like these pip cards are with images. For example, these four of clubs. We say that in the Masa Tarot, it's like 4 is like, in numerology, it's like a stable situation. And with wands, it's like building a fence. Like this fence can set limits. It's stable structure. We can feel safe in this structure, but also this fence can limit us. We can lock us within this space and not going out. It's difficult to break this structure. So Masa Masa uses this idea and make it into a drawing. So that's really, I can tell that's really hard, and it requires a lot of effort. So good for you, Masa. And this is the 5 of clubs, which is kind of like breaking through, like going over this gap. It's kind of like breaking through. And we have 6 of wands. And we can say that the number 6 for me is like harmonious number, and it's really beautiful. It represents things beautiful, and with wands, it's like 2 people are celebrating because they achieved something. But I believe that each card includes one bright side and dark side, which is light and shadow. So the dark side of this card may represent the 2 people are so dedicated to the celebration, and so like they're enjoying so much the celebration and the joy of achieving this certain thing or certain phase of their life or work that they cannot advance. So this could be the dark meaning. So that's how he represents it. And we have 7 of wands, 7 clubs. We have 8, and we have 9. Well, 9 is like the previous situation before achieving the 10. So the 10 is like full realization, and 9 is like one step before that. So as we can see, he is about to reach the moon, and just he is close to the final realization. So I really like this idea, how he represents it. And the page of wands, page of clubs. The knight of clubs. The queen of clubs. And the king of clubs. And now let's move on to the next suit of pip cards. Alright, so here we have the suit of hearts, which represents the cups. So the ace of hearts and 2 of hearts. Well, if you see it from the perspective of traditional Marseille, we can see that it's kind of different, because we say that 2 is like a union, it's like collaborations, like a relationship, especially when it appears in the relationship readings. We can say that these 2 are together, but this plant or decoration in the middle also blocks the sides of each cup. It could be 2 lovers. But we have these two people like businessmen. They are kind of joined together and they're looking at each other without this block. But maybe that their separated hearts represent the distance or the block between them. So they're joined together, but they're not joined together like emotionally or communicating with their real emotions or hearts. They're not sharing their thoughts, they're not sharing their hearts. So, but anyway, this one looks definitely like a celebration, like business celebration, like two people signed a contract and they went to a bar and celebrate. So while if you like it or not, that really depends on you. So that's something quite different. The Three of Hearts. The Four Hearts. We can say that 4 is like a stable number that we talked about. And they're like kind of like a family, like this is a husband, this is a wife, and they're sitting on a table and they're like a family feeling. Yeah. The Seven of Hearts. The Eight of Hearts. Well, I actually don't know very well why he designed like this. Because for me, like what I said, the paper cards, the reading depends on the combination and the question. So if you guys are curious about these cards, you can look it up in the pamphlet. The Nine of Hearts and the Ten of Hearts. Ten of Hearts, also if we compare with the traditional Marseille, we also see problems. But remember, this is a artistic deck. You can definitely, I think each deck, every kind of deck can be read with. So if you like, oh, I'm like a fan of traditional Tarot Marseille and I don't accept alternative options, alternative images, well, you probably will not like this. But yeah, this is like a very different card, 10 of Cups, from what I understand, because in the traditional Marseille we have a big cup lying down and we have like 9 cups following it. So this is like this man is like a leader, which is the big cup of above, and the 9 cups are like these hearts and these hands and are like his followers. But it can also, like, this card is a blockage for the rest of cards, or it can also means sharing or not sharing. It depends on the situation. Because we can see that the lid of the cup, there's a flower. We can say that it's like a flower, a kind of seed, a seed of hope is growing. But we can also see that there's no water falling from this cup to the other one. So it's kind of like what I said, it depends on the question, on the context. So I think it means more than leadership and followers. So yeah, that's the difference. But you guys should really consider the hard work behind this card, behind the design process. It's really difficult. Like, I would not even imagine how would I represent the pip cards with images. So that's genius. and we have the Queen of Hearts. We say that there, in the pip cards or the court cards of each pip suit, there are some cards with different card symbols, with more than one card symbols. And the Queen of Cup is one of them. We have a big cup, which is the suit symbol, and this sword like something in her hand. So it's kind of like another representation of the suit of sword. So the difference is that this card in the Tarot Maregician, he does not include the other suit symbol. And we say that the Queen of Cups represents a person who is not willing to share her emotions, like this decoration, this veil, and this cup with the mouth closed. But this one, there's water flowing from the cup, so that's really different. But we can see that in the and at the bottom, the heart is like closed within her dress, so it's like it can represent. I think it can represent the same thing. Like there's big heart under the or there's more than meets the eye. So yeah, I should definitely study these cards. They're so interesting. And we have the King of Hearts. So now we have the suit of spades, which is the suit of swords. We have a ace of spades, and we can see we have a symbolic crown here, and this plant, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, and laurel, well, that's in Spanish. So let's see other ones. The Two of Swords. And we say that Four of Swords in Tarot Marseille, it kind of like a blockage or a situation that we cannot get out of. So we can see that there's a cell, bird cell, or a physical cell for this human. So that's I really like this card. The symbol, the symbols, and the idea of the message. And also we have six of swords, which is also like getting to a situation of blockage, and like this mermaid cannot get out of this bottle. So yeah, it really represents this. It's kind of like a good scene is in a limited space. A beautiful scene in a limited space, so it's kind of sad, a mermaid trapped into a bottle. And Eight of Swords or Eight of Spades is also like defense, like this shield. Defense protecting this man. And the 10 of Spades. So this card, the Page of Spades, is really similar to the traditional Marseille Tarot. The posture, the gesture, the hands, and I think the hats also resembles the Tarot Marseille. So here it is. This is the page of swords from Tarot Maregician, and we can see the how they resemble each other. The hands, the arms, and this hand with the sword and the hat. Yes, that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful one. And we have the Knight of Spades. And we have the Queen of Spades. And we have the King of Spades. So now let's get on to the final pip suit, which is the diamonds. Hey guys, so now we're going to look at the cards from the suit of diamonds, which corresponds with the suit of coins. I don't particularly like this two of diamonds because it reminds me of the Rider-Waite-Smith style, the two of coins. And in the traditional Maregician tarot, we say that the two of coin represents it has the name of the designer and the year of designer on it. So Masa kind of just left it out. So I don't quite like this this design, but let's see other cards. The Three of Diamonds is like a negotiation, like doing business. The Seven of Diamonds is like taking care of something, it's like growing something. Nine of Diamonds. And also in this court card, the design also resembles the traditional Maregician tarot with the Page of Coins, of course. And let's see if I can find this card. I do prefer the difference between the Tarot Maregician and the traditional Maregician tarot. It's kind of different, but it also resembles. So I like this kind of feeling. So I like this card. I think it's very well designed. We have the Knight of Coins, and the Knight of Coins is another card, a court card with two card symbols. And there's actually in the traditional Maregician tarot, there's a wand, a symbol of wand in the hand of the knight, but it's not here. So it really depends on what you mean or what you wanna. What feeling, what meaning do you want to express? So that's it. And the Queen of the Diamonds and the King of the Diamonds. So now we have gone through all the trumps and pip cards of Tarot Maregician, and now let's look at some bonus cards and special cards. So these are the bonus cards from the regular version, and this is the special card of Maregician. The special card of Maregician. So we have, for the bonus card, we have a Justice of number 11 and Strength of number 8. So it's kind of like alternative options. And now let's now look at the bonus cards from the special version. So now we have the bonus cards from two special versions, the Daydream and Sleepwalk. And the first one is a High Priestess. And the design of this moon and the fruit in her hand really reminds me of the El Gran Tarot Esotérico from Spain. So it really resembles that. And we have the Lovers, which is more of a Rider-Waite-Smith style. And we have another version of the Lovers. I particularly love these cards. I mean, they are so creative. I mean, because it represents the choices. It's like this woman trying to give this symbol, this bell on to these cats. But she is like choosing which cat to give it to. So I really love this one. And the strength that we talk about. The Wheel of Fortune. We had the Swirl of Fortune in the original card. And this Wheel of Fortune is like the goddess of fortune from the Greek mythology. And then we have Justice of number 11. We have Strength. Another Strength, which is more of a woman with a lion. More traditional symbology. We have Death, Temperance, the Tower, and the Star. Because Masa inspired in the traditional tarot deck, it's the in the Jacques Vieille. Also, there's a Star card, which is a astronomist. A person who studies astrology. So this card resembles the card from that system. So I really like this card. It's really special. The Moon, the Judgment, and instead of the universe, we have instead of the world, we have the universe. So, as special cards, we have the two Maregician. And for the Sleeplessness, we have the special card of Sleeplessness. And for the Daydream, we have a card of Daydream. And also, these Moonface cards, the figures on the cards are also Masa's friends and family. So, yeah, this is the full moon, the crescent moon, the new moon, the gibbous moon, and the half moon. So, these are all the cards that we've seen in the both Cuckoo's Tarot and Tarot Maregician. So now let's shuffle the cards and see how it works. So I'm trying to shuffle these cards. Wow, it feels really great. I mean, I really like this because I have big hands, I think. So I really like this size of cards. I think the regular version is a bit too small. But if you buy the full set of Cuckoo's Tarot, one regular version, two special versions, you will get a mini version of Cuckoo's Tarot. The same with Tarot Maregician. So let's see how it shuffles. So I shuffled it like a minute or two, and I would like to ask about my relationship. Well, I don't have a relationship, and let's see if how my emotional relationship goes during this year. So I just shuffled the cards. I am now about to cut them. All right. So I will pull 3 cards. Wow, 4 of hearts. And Queen and Knight of Diamonds. So, what do you guys think of these cards? I hope you guys will comment below. And I really hope you guys enjoy these videos. And my name is Kike, and I'll see you next time. Bye!